Speaking of men's basketball, we're glad to welcome in Corbin Kaufusi for the first time to Studio B. Corbin, welcome to Studio B.
Thank you.
All 6 feet 10 inches of you. You are 6'10", right?
6'10".
And done growing? Or is this, you gonna get taller?
I have no idea.
You grew like a foot on your mission, right?
Yeah, this might be the end.
I have one question, Corbin. What's it like?
To be 6'10"?
Yeah, just to be a giant.
You think you're normal until like people are like looking at you weird, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not that normal. Like, it's kind of weird.
Hey, 4 straight wins for BYU basketball. That's a season-long win streak. The trend had been win 3, lose 1, win 2, lose 1. Now you've got 4 straight. What's the key to making it 5 in a row against Portland?
I think it's taking what we did good from the games that we did win, especially in these, against St. Mary's, and the games where we really came out and played well, and just continuing that, not letting the intensity drop at all.
What were the things that you did well in those games?
I think the first thing was the intensity in general, the urgency. We came out with energy. Of course, we were hitting shots, and you never know if you're going to do that, but the key is to have energy even when you're not hitting shots.
You have rebounded, when you've out-rebounded opponents, 18-0 this season. How often do your coaches bring that statistic up to you?
About every day.
Okay, that's a fair statement. So I think it's easy to, it's simple to say, look, if we out-rebound a team, we're going to win. But you're going up against Portland. They're 6'11", 6'11", 6'10". How much of a challenge does that present to you guys?
It's a huge challenge, especially 2 of those guys are, the top out of the top 3 rebounders in the conference, and so this is going to be a huge challenge for us, offensive boards, even just normal defensive boards. But coaches keep pushing it, and so I think because we know that's what we need to do, I think we're going to focus a lot on that and be able to accomplish it.
We used to give Michael a hard time about, we're just focusing on one game at a time. We're looking at the next opponent. Okay, so maybe Michael should ask you that question just for the sheer irony involved in that of how do you not overlook.
And I'm sorry I have to do this, from a former athlete to a current athlete.
Come on, man.
I know I have to put you on the spot. Do you kind of look past Portland State to Gonzaga?
Gonzaga is always there somewhere. It's like a rivalry game or something like that. The big games are always in your mind, but definitely can't look past Portland. Especially with the way that they play and how big of a win it is going to be in our season and whatnot. I think it's a lot easier for us to focus on just Portland right now.
You passed the test.
Yeah, I hope you realize how difficult that was for Michael to ask
I'm
that
sorry.
question.
I'm really sorry. I know how that feels, man.
Okay, so you got Portland next. Tyler Haws is on top of mind for most of BYU Sports Nation. He needs 7 points to break Jimmer Fredette's all-time scoring record. How much are you and the team and Tyler thinking about that record?
To be honest, I don't think we think about it at all. especially Ty. He doesn't ever say anything about it, and of course he would never because he's so humble. And no one on the team really knows, but every now and again a coach might say something. But even the coaches, the record breaking is never part of our game plan. When Kyle with his triple doubles, we never even know what's going on. It's just go out and win.
Just playing.
Well, so I mean, nobody thinks about it a lot, but Jake Toolson has to be thinking about this. Does he have a dance prepared when Tyler breaks the record?
I don't believe he does. Not yet.
We all saw the Irish jig. I hope there's something else prepared for
a little bit of the chicken dance legs.
Yeah. You never know.
So you need to ask Jake about that. He needs to come up with something, okay?
Okay, I'll confront him today.
I like that about Tyler, though. I mean, he's kind of been like that all season. He's just been quiet about it and just been going about his business.
You ever known a player to score 28 points in a game quietly? He is the only player in the nation that I feel like is, wow, he's got 28 points.
Yeah.
He's just so methodical and meticulous and detail-oriented. I don't know if there's another player like that in college basketball.
I can't imagine it. I get to the end of the game and think, oh, did Ty have 6 points? And you're like, oh, no, he had 28. And it's just because, like you said, he scores quietly. It's not this huge deal. He makes his points, but it's not like he's a volume shooter. He's not just hunting for shots and taking every shot.
Yeah, it's a unique dynamic, and it goes to show what a special player he is, that he's able to become the all-time scoring leader the way he plays basketball. Tyler obviously has been an important cog in this BYU basketball team for a very long time. This season has kind of been funny. I mean, you've had your ups and downs. when you compare yourselves against Gonzaga the first time in the first West Coast Conference game, now to the last Northwest road trip at the end of the conference season, how is this team different?
Our team right now?
Yeah, how is BYU different?
I think, our mindsets are, of course, different. When you're at the beginning of the season, you have, certain thoughts, and just because it's a completely different circumstance, a different situation. But now, with the position we've been put in, it's like, okay, there's a lot riding on these games. And, of course, you experience things throughout the season. Every player gets to play with different guys on the team. You get different matchups, different lineups. And so now it's like, all right, we kind of have found a niche. Now let's see what we can do with it the second time around.
Where have you as an individual player improved the most from the beginning of the season to now?
I think just not being as nervous, maybe. Like, that's my personal thing, is just, it was so, I was starstruck when you get to step on the floor at the beginning of the season. I still have that feeling, but it's not like that's dominating my mind completely right now.
That's an honest and fair answer. I mean, coming off a mission, all of a sudden you're thrust into the starting lineup now at BYU with Kyle Collinsworth and Tyler Haws and Chase Fisher. And so how long did it take you before you felt like, okay, I'm comfortable on the floor with these guys?
I think it's just, sometimes you feel more comfortable than other times. I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm completely comfortable now, because you always kind of need that edge. But I think maybe midway through the season, it was more, it flowed a little bit better. I wasn't as, Twitter-pated, not shaking the whole time.
Twitter-pated. Corbin Kaufusi bringing Twitter-pated to BYU Sports Nation.
I don't even know if that word even works, but I'm going to say it.
You do what you want. So was it a hard transition moving from football, like your brother, Bronson Kaufusi? You were a two-sport athlete. You were on the football team. What was the difference transferring over, and do you miss football a little bit?
There's definitely things you miss about anything you leave behind. I see the football guys. A lot of my friends are on the football team. Some of my best friends are on the football team, and it's like, I wish I could work out with you, man. I remember the good old days when you used to lift hard and run harder. But it's been a lot different than football in my experience there. The transition was, I wouldn't say hard, like it was worthwhile, but it was difficult.
What was the most challenging part about making that transition to a full-time basketball player?
I think the biggest thing was just not being around the same people all the time. My dad's a coach, and so I was around him a lot, and my brother's on the team, and I was able to do everything with him and my friends as well. But then it's like, okay, you get into a whole new situation. The Marriott Center is on a different side of campus than where the football locker room is, so you're just kind of around a lot of other people.
Did Michael give you a hard time when you moved from football to basketball?
No, Mike was great about it.
He's giving him the evil eye right now.
How dare you leave us?
We just need to play ping pong sometime. That's what I missed, Mike.
Didn't I beat you last time we played? Oh, no, never mind. We'll leave that in the past. But speaking of competition, I heard through a little bird tweeted this out to me. Bronson and you have an ongoing WrestleMania.
What in the world?
Who usually wins these wrestle matches? I got to know. How many pounds does Bronson have on you, first of all?
Right now, he's got about 40 pounds.
Okay. So who usually wins these matches?
It's so funny you bring that up, because I win.
No way.
And no one will believe me, but we have video proof and witnesses.
What?
And none of them, Bronson has never beat me. That's the thing.
Bronson has
I have a
never
hard time
beaten you
believing
Since being home from my mission,
in a
he
wrestling
has
match.
never beaten me in a wrestling match.
Wow.
In the fact, the other week, I slammed him to the ground, and it was hilarious. And my
You
sister
slammed Bronson to the ground.
Yeah, I picked him up, and my sister happened to be filming it, and so it's on her Facebook.
We need
this
to get
video.
this film. We
This
need
is
this
critical
video.
that we get this footage.
And of course he's going to deny everything. Oh, I wasn't even going hard, I was just being nice, but
Being the nice bigger brother.
yeah.
Oh, that is that. That
Well,
is
mad respect to
outstanding.
you, my man. Wow.
So does that make you the better athlete then when you compare the brothers?
Some would say that.
It's been told.
I love
But I'm not going to say anything.
I love the subtleties. Corbin Kaufusi with us on BYU Sports Nation, a freshman center, power forward, whatever you want to call him on the BYU basketball squad. They're headed to the Northwest tomorrow to take on Portland and Gonzaga. Some news came out this week about one of your teammates, Luke Worthington. deciding to go on a mission. That was not the original plan for Luke coming from Mequon, Wisconsin. Now he heads out. What was your reaction to that news of him deciding to serve a mission?
Oh, myself and everyone else on the team was just ecstatic, so excited and happy. He didn't even tell us. One of our players happened to be, we were in the weight room, and he checks his Instagram, and he comes up to Luke, and he's like, "Are you going on a mission?" And we're all sitting there like, "What?" And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, I am." And so we were all just so happy for him, and he's going to be an amazing missionary.
What was, has he explained to you why he decided to make the transition, or has it just kind of kept it quiet?
He's kept it quiet, kept it to himself, and I think that's a big thing to it. It is a very personal decision, and we're just happy to support him in whatever he does, and we're just happy to hear that he's going out.
You have a brand new practice facility as of the fall of 2016. You'll have Marriott Center upgrades by the fall of this year, 2015. What do you and the team think about what's happening with BYU basketball and Coach Rose for 5 more years and everything that's happening there?
I think it's just, everything's growing. It's progression, and I'm just happy to be here for it, and I think all the other guys are too, It's too bad that the guys that kind of made this happen, the seniors and those that played before us aren't going to be here, but hopefully we can honor them by just using it to the best of our ability. Corbin,
great to have you on the show. Good luck in the Northwest, and beat the Pilots and the Zags.
Here we go.
Thanks, Corbin.
Thank you.